Today I'm going to show you how to start your ranunculus from seed. Ranunculus can be a very pricey crop and it can be tricky to learn how to grow them. So you can lose some money when you're learning how to grow ranunculus. In Australia, we can't get the beautiful corms that our friends over in the USA can get. And I know our New Zealand friends, well, I'm pretty sure they can't even import corms anymore because of a disease that they're trying to keep out of the country. So one of the ways we can build up our inventory of ranunculus corms is to grow it from seed. And it is a slow process. It takes at least a year before you're going to have plants that are growing flowers that you can cut from. But then each year after that, you're going to build up bigger corms. You can split them, and it's a really cheap and I think easy way to get your inventory going if you feel like you've got the time to do that. So let's get started. There's lots of places you can buy your ranunculus seed. I've got mine from High Sun in Australia. So you just need to find in your country where you can get it, and there'll be lots of different varieties. So get yourself some seed, and this is how it looks. It's very small. Ranunculus seed wants to germinate at really low temperatures, so down to 5 to 7 degrees Celsius or 41 to 44 degrees Fahrenheit. It's pretty cold. Once it gets over about 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit, it's too hot for them. So we germinate around 15 degrees. We do ours in the middle of winter because our temperatures here will get down to about -6, but in the daytime it can be around 10 to 15 degrees, and it's perfect temperatures. We don't have to do anything extra. They do need light to germinate, so we've got plenty of light here in Australia. It's really easy for us. So you're going to have to figure out how you're going to get your seeds to germinate, and you want to do it pretty early. We do it early winter, so they've got enough time to get big enough to just go into the ground and sit there for the summer. So I'll show you how to put them in the soil, how to sow them. So you're just surface sowing them. So all you do is you just level out your soil. You can go and get a soil from like a nice seed raising mix or whatever you are used to using, and you can make little divots in the soil just with your finger or whatever you want to use, and then you just place a seed just in each one. We're just making we're not covering them, we're just making the little divots so the seed doesn't wash away when it gets watered. When the seed develops its root, it will lodge itself in the soil and then it will throw up its leaves. While the seeds are germinating, you really want to keep them moist. Now that you've got your seeds sown, you want to go and find somewhere that's not too hot, but it is going to have sunlight, or if you're in a basement or somewhere where there is no direct light, you'll want to have some grow lights. You don't want the soil or the air temperature to get warmer than 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to be too hot, and that's why I start mine in cold weather so that it can germinate happily. So then you wait, and I'll show you what they're going to look like once they've developed enough to plant out. We've planted out our ranunculus corms already that we grow from seed, but I just kept a few in this tray just to show you. They are getting really yellow now because they've had too much water, but that's the kind of size they get to. So they're very tiny, just little. And this is what one of the corms, they actually have corms at this stage, very small. This is what it looks like. See how they've got that little tiny corm there? I'll take you out to the field and show you how they're looking out in the field. Here we have our little baby ranunculus that I planted as seed this season. They're very small. They will get some very small short flowers on them, but overall they're really just going to sit here. Here is one of those corms from this season that I've dug up, a first year corm. It will plump up a lot more as this flower head dies down and the leaves kind of die down. They're very heavy feeders. They need really rich soil and well fertilized, and they like soil that's a good structure, that's easy to develop in. These are some that did in fact develop some flowers. You can see that the flowers are fairly short and small. Here are some ranunculus that I planted from seeds last season, And these are ranunculus that I bought corms from. I'm going to do a side by side to show you how they look in comparison to each other. On the left we have the ranunculus I planted from seed, on the right are the corms, and these are from 2 seasons ago. Now we're going to look at picking and conditioning your ranunculus. When you pick your ranunculus, you want to cut deep and low into the plant. Make sure you only snip the stem you want, and then put them in a clean bucket of warm water. The warm water is going to help the flower absorb the water. After picking your flowers, you want to then put them in a cool, dark place for at least 4 hours to allow them to condition before you start making your bouquets or selling them on to wholesalers or florists or customers. I just want to show you at what stage to pick them. Most of the ones you see here are a little bit too open. Some are really open. I'll give you details in a minute. But this is the stage you really want your ranunculus to be picked at. They can be from kind of a firmer marshmallow to a softer marshmallow, and that's going to give you the best vase life. Unfortunately, these ones I'm showing you here, I'm filming the end of this video right in the middle of a La Nina weather event. We've had ridiculous amounts of flooding and water, and the ranunculus are starting to suffer. And it's just been a while for me to get back and get them, so that they're at the end of their season now. These are some of the seeds that I planted 2 years ago. So they are a little bit smaller, they're getting there, but it will give you an idea. You don't want to be picking, well, pick them, but don't sell them at this stage. This is way too far gone. They're pretty for you to look at, you can give them to friends, but they're very close to having their petals fall out. They're a couple of days maybe even by tomorrow. That one was damaged by rain, so you wouldn't use that anyway, you'd chuck it out. This sort of stage is okay. It depends who your market is. If you're selling to wholesalers, they want them closed. They want the longest vase life they can get. Well, not super closed, but you need to see a bit of colour. Florists, I don't know. Talk to your florist. Find out what they want. Some florists want different things to other florists. For us, we sell roadside and we do orders, and majority of our customers want the flowers open. I would still never put something this open in a bouquet. It's just, or this one, it's pretty, not going to last long. I would not. I bundle these up into bunches, and I just give them to friends, or my daughters take them. But something like this, it's open but a bit tighter. This one, I put some of the closed ones in so that they've got a bit more of a gradual process of them opening. So you need to figure out your market. Best vase life is that marshmallow stage where they're fairly closed, and this is going to bring me so much joy. Somebody else I was watching said, don't plant your flowers to pick outside your kitchen window, because if you look at them all the time, you're not going to pick them. And it's so true. It's very hard to pick these beautiful flowers when they look so gorgeous out in the field. But once they start looking gorgeous, you've pretty much missed the boat for picking them for the best vase life. So remember that. Flower farmers don't have beautiful fields of flowers that have all popped open. Dahlias are an exception. A few other flowers are an exception. But for ranunculus, if you've got an amazing row of beautiful, bright, open flowers, you've missed the boat for picking them for cut flowers. So I hope this helps. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it inspires you to go out and grow ranunculus from seed, build some stock up, get some different varieties that you can't buy as corms or if you've been buying plugs. And there really isn't a huge need to buy them as plugs. They're still going to only do the same amount of growth than if you grew them from seed yourself that first year. So go out and grow some ranunculus.